What's up, guys? My name is Zach Weiss, and I make videos on self-improvement, finance, pretty much you name it when it comes to living the best life that you want to live. Now, today I'm going to talk about how to do the work you just don't want to do. And this can be at your day job at work, it can be in your personal life, it can be on your business. It's work that you have planned to do or that you aspire, that you dream of doing, that you just can't get yourself to do no matter how many times you try to do it. Now I'm going to jump right in here. The very first thing you want to do is to be smart, okay? So let me explain what I mean. So some of you guys might have heard of this acronym, but I want to talk about it in this context. Okay, SMART. For those of you who don't know what SMART is, the first is specific in the acronym, okay? This is probably the most important aspect of SMART for doing work, because you need to be exactly very fine-tuned into what your goals are in order to be able to even think about doing it. So let's say you want to make 6 figures in a year, right? That's $100,000. That breaks down into $8,333 a month. That is a specific number to hit as a goal every month for you to progress in your goal. Now, let's say I just said, I want to make a lot of money. Do you see the difference? You would never be able to hit that. A lot of money can be $5, it could be $5,000 or $5 million. So being specific is the very first thing you need to do. The next is measurable. Now, these first two and second two go hand in hand. The first two are specific and measurable, all right? And the reason measurable is important is because you need to be able to see how much progress you've been hitting, obviously. Let's say you want to make 10 sales calls a week, but you've only made 6. Because you're using numbers and data, you can know if you're struggling or if you're actually hitting your goals, which is massive, okay? So another example is not necessarily with numbers, but let's say with building your habits. Let's say a goal of yours or work that you want to do is to build a morning routine. And you seem to always be, let's say one of the big ones is getting up at 5:30 in the morning, but you feel like crap. Normally you would just sleep in and move about your day, and then the next day hits and then you're sleeping in. But if you have a chart, what I do is I have a little sheet that marks off whether I've done a goal or not, is if you sleep in, you mark that you skipped it. And then eventually you're gonna start seeing and measuring that you skipped it. Therefore, guess what? You're gonna start doing it because you notice a trend. Next is they have to be attainable. Sorry for my bad handwriting. And realistic. Attainable and realistic. Your goals have to be realistic. So a lot of people, like even friends of mine, are saying like, I want to make $1 million in a year. And I'm like, okay, whoa, slow down there, buddy. You know, we can be ambitious. We can want to, make $1 million and whatnot. But if you don't give yourself the time and make your goals realistic, you're going to get overwhelmed and you're just going to break down. At the gym is a great example of this. You see a lot of people doing really heavy weights. You want to just take like 2 plates on and just start doing reps. If you've never been to the gym, yeah, that ain't happening. Okay? That ain't realistic and it's not attainable. So there's this quote. One can overestimate what they can do in 1 year, but they tend to underestimate what they can do in 5. So if you broke down your $1 million goal into 5 years, now you only have to make $250,000 in a year. Now, I would argue that specific example is still a little bit rushed to try to make $250K in your first year of business, but the idea is there that you would break it down over a longer period of time, giving yourself the space to actually hit those goals and do the work, okay? Because you're not going to want to put the work in every day if you're overwhelming yourself, right? So let's say you don't want to say that you're going to make 100 sales calls in a day, because each phone call can take a half hour, and then you're going to realize that you can't do nearly that much. So just and it's a process, so sometimes you won't get it right the first time, but just make sure to be realistic with your goals, okay? Now, here's the kicker. Timely, okay? You have to set artificial deadlines for everything you want to do, or else you're going to keep on procrastinating. You have to say, if you're in college right now and you have to write an essay, if you say, okay, it's due in 2 weeks, let's do it. You're gonna end up doing it the night before, because most people do. But if you say, I need to get this done by Wednesday of next week, so you're doing it a week early, then you've set an artificial deadline. Now it's not really due at that day, but you're going to actually do the work because you put that pressure on yourself. Okay? Now, the next one, once you've mastered SMART, is to set up a reward system. Okay? People tend to do things if there is a reward attached to it. This is pretty much if you've taken any psychology course, it's called conditioning, right? Operant conditioning, this is positive reinforcement. Okay, so there's when I was a kid, right? My mom tried to teach me piano, and she did so by giving me stickers. Every time I would do a lesson or practice, I would get a sticker. If I accumulated enough stickers, I would win a prize. Okay, and if you've ever seen The Simpsons, you'll notice that Homer is running on a treadmill when there's a donut attached to the treadmill. Because there is a donut attached to the treadmill, obviously Homer is going to do it because it's worth the end result. Now, operant conditioning is a very powerful tool you can implement in your daily life. Let's say that you have to build a funnel for your business. Okay, so if you say, if I get this done by this time, then I will take myself to a movie, or whatever something of value is. If you introduce something of value to the equation, then you're more likely going to do it. It does not necessarily have to be monetary. Okay, it could be a break. Okay, so number 3. Now, after you've done a task for a certain amount of time, a lot of times things are going to be more habitual, right? So what you need to do is make it into a habit. If something of yours is a habit and you're doing it for at least, I think it's 3 weeks, eventually you're not even going to think about it, you're just going to do it, right? So things get very difficult in the beginning, but then they get easier over the long run, okay? So if you make something into a habit, then success is that much closer. That's exactly what people do. That's why I do morning routines. That's why I do evening routines. Because eventually you just start getting things done. Like when you do journaling and planning and gratitude and all these things, they add up. But if you're trying to do something you don't want to do and you turn it into a habit, like going to the gym, then I'm at the gym regardless of how I feel. I just get up and immediately my brain's like, you need to go to the gym right now. I don't think about it. I'm in the gym before I have a chance to be like, oh, I just want to sleep. So make it into a habit is a very powerful tool. It does take a little bit of time for this one though. The next one is learn to love it, okay? Now, I just saw an amazing video. You should check it out. Low-key, I got a shout-out in it. It's by Sam Ovens. If you're subscribed to me, you probably know who he is. He made a video on the same topic, how to do the work. And he says you need to love it. That's why he can do the crazy things he can do, and that's what separates a successful person from someone average. There's actually a triad, right? So if you can find work that you love doing, here, I'll just say love, that you love, that you're good at, and that the world needs, or it's marketable, if there's demand for it, that is your passion that can produce a profit. This is what your business should be about, right? I love health and wellness, so eventually something is going to connect the dots there. Right now, I'm like 23, big deal. I don't know exactly what it is, but this is the golden triad of what you should do for your career. Now, he says you have to be hardwired to love something. I disagree. I think there are certain things that you're never gonna love, even if you love most of the things that you're doing, that you're just gonna have to do anyways. There's always vegetables on your plate that you have to eat, right? So you have to learn to love it, and this is a mindset change. Now, a good way to do this, for example, at the gym, as an example, is you're not gonna want to lift weights to give yourself pain. But if you think about it in terms of, wow, after I lift these weights, after I run that mile, I'm making myself healthier. I know logically that the rest of the day is going to go smoother. I'm going to have more energy. I'm going to feel better. That would make it worth it. Then you can learn to love it. okay? And number 5 here is to start small and then make quick wins. I used to get terribly overwhelmed with my goals and things that I had to do. And when you think about, because a lot of times when you set all these goals and you have them like posted somewhere, you're thinking about the end result and you're obsessing over it. So it makes the here and now feel that much more distant from it, and it makes everything overwhelming. But you have to like love the work and then also break down it into itty bitty pieces. And I'm talking about like, if you have to write an essay, okay, you sit down and you write one sentence. You get down and you write one word and you call that a win. You write down one sentence, you call that another win. You write down a paragraph. You take it one paragraph at a time. Before you know it, you have a page. You get this, you get what I'm saying? Break it down and then call every single one a little win. Now, you don't have to give yourself the full reward for hitting these little wins, but what you can do is you can take 5-minute breaks, space it out. Don't put so much pressure on yourself, but understand that the small ones are going to snowball into something greater. Because a lot of times people procrastinate on hard tasks because they don't want to put in the effort. But if your hard task is broken up into chunks, it becomes that much more realistic, right? So number 6 here, which is very important, is to manage your state. Okay, here's the kicker. We all know that you're not always going to feel motivated, you're not always going to feel happy, and sometimes you're going to be downright in a rut. How do you do work you need to get done when you have absolutely no energy and you can't think straight? You have to manage your state. You have to understand when you're in these low places to get yourself out of the mood and to go out. For example, for me, when I'm like feeling like crap and I'm sitting down and I'm not getting any work done, I will stop what I'm doing and I will go outside for a run until I start sweating, and then that will release endorphins and make me more awake. Or I'll drink a coffee. Now, I don't recommend coffee as much because that can become a dependence. But the idea is that you can control your state. Tony Robbins is very much a proponent of this, and he says if you don't feel confident, what you can do is you can stand up straight. That will make you feel confident over the long run, right? Another way is to visualize and to close your eyes and to meditate. There's so many different ways you can manage your state. I'm not going to go deep into that in this video, but I'm just going to tell you that it is a possibility. If you're not feeling well, you can change it in an instant. An actionable method I use is actually improv, because I tend to get stuck in my mind a lot. A lot of anxiety builds up and then I can't think straight. So doing improv, doing storytelling, doing Toastmasters, public speaking, that helps you get out of your mind. That's just one example. Now, these are just some of the amazing tools you can take in order to do the work. But I'm trying to think of the last one here, but if I can't, either way, let me know if you like this video. Drop a like and a comment down below. Let me know what other topics you would like to learn about, and catch you next time.